Galesville has been the hub of commerce in southern Anne Arundel County since the days of the first Quaker settlement in 1651. This village on the shore of the West River has about 500 residents, and that's about all it's ever had. And yet, Galesville has been able to support a large number of general stores and other businesses over the years. Why did such a small town have so many different stores throughout its history? The unpaved roads in this area made traveling hard. They were muddy in the winter and rutted in the summer. Before automobiles came to the village in the 1920s, residents of Galesville relied heavily on stores like Leatherberry's and Cobb's to provide whatever food they couldn't grow or raise themselves, and for goods imported from out of town. Steamboats, like the Emma Giles, carried cargo and people between Baltimore and Galesville, so it was easy for stores to stock their shelves with goods from the city. This economy wouldn't have worked without credit. Galesville merchants trusted their customers to pay off their accounts as their annual tobacco crops were sold or the oyster season picked up. Through time, the stores of Galesville exemplified the faith and community that is still common in the village today. None of these stores are open now, but take a walk down the main street of the village, Galesville Road, and you can still see where they once thrived. Many of these buildings have been used over and over again by different owners for different businesses over the years. What's now the Galesville Post Office has seen at least 6 iterations over the last century. This same building has been Ferdinand Perner's furniture store, Maurice and Ruth Snyder's grocery store, Jack Feldman's variety store, and other groceries owned by John Hines, Jack Smith, Mildred Woodfield, and Ray Selby. Some of the former shops are now private homes. One example of this is a small white house 2 doors east of the fire station on Main Street. This was Harry Glover's general merchandise store prior to 1940 and Albert Mock's grocery from 1940 through the 1970s. Captain Harvey Leatherberry ran Leatherberry's grocery and general merchandise for more than 50 years, from 1904 until the 1960s. Since it closed, at least 3 antique stores have taken up residence at that location. The Michelson family ran the busy corner shop from 1900 until the store was taken over in the 1940s by Leon Nathanson. That building was moved in the mid-20th century to East Benning and divided into 2 homes. A general merchandise store, later known as Cobb's Store, stood next door to Michelson's across Benning Lane, where it meets Main Street, for more than 100 years. Emil Lurch owned this general store before the Civil War, and in the late 1800s, John Cobb Sr. inherited the building. His son Francis took over the store in 1912 and became one of the most revered citizens and merchants in Galesville. When Cobb's store closed in the 1970s, most of the market for small-town general merchandise suppliers was gone. Specialized stores like the Marine Supplies store that moved into this location provided niche goods to Galesville visitors. The empty restaurant building at the corner of Riverfront Drive has a unique history. In 1860, this spot was occupied by the Joseph Armiger store and the W.F. House store. In 1884, Child's Feed store opened here and supplied local farmers. In 1904, Wason's Ice Cream Parlor occupied this building and began giving Galesville residents an ice cream treat. Since Wason's closed, the building has served as a restaurant operated by various owners. Pirates Cove sits on property that originally had a building on what is now the parking lot and served as a store/post office/warehouse. It became Zhang's Pier in the early 1900s. At that time, it was a crab and oyster house restaurant, and remained so through various owners until the present day, where boat slips are rented and a full restaurant menu is served. The steamboat Emma Giles docked where Thursday's restaurant now stands. After the steamboat stopped coming in 1932 to Galesville, Maggie Dixon had a confectionery stand there, and later Molly and Dave's restaurant opened, the first in a long line of institutions at the end of the pier. Throughout the years, other businesses also dotted the landscape on Galesville Road, from a millinery store to a bank. All of these stores contributed to the economy, the character, and the sense of community of what used to be a bustling village at the edge of the West River. As roads improved and cars became commonplace, villagers took jobs out of town and took their shopping to chain stores that offered greater variety at lower prices, just a few minutes' drive away. Over time, the stores in Galesville faded away. The last one was Cobb's, which became the West River Market. It now serves as the marine store for Harchie's Yacht Yard. But while the stores are gone, the Galesville Historical Society celebrates the strong spirit of community that these store owners built with their customers, a spirit that lives on in the voices of the people of Galesville who share their stories with you today. In this exhibit, you'll meet some of these outstanding characters, learn what they sold and what they didn't sell, how credit supported an economy based upon trust between neighbors, and how the stores played an essential role in every childhood in the village.